Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Live Wire on Inside UNC Charlotte. And right now we're going to have a conversation that has a lot to do with tradition at the university and an effort that is underway to instill in our new students a sense of tradition and pride and a sense of deeper meaning as to why they're here and what they're going to accomplish in the 4 to 6 years that they're here as Niners and then moving on as alumni, looking back on the institution and those great years they will have spent here with us. And joining us today to talk about the upcoming new student convocation, Professor of Psychology Kim Buch and Steven Serio, who we now refer to as the former president of the student body and also soon to be an alum of the university with Commencement. And for those of you watching this later on YouTube, he's now an alum. So, the topic is a convocation for new students. And just to clarify with those who are in the immediate UNC Charlotte community, we do have a convocation each year, but it's something that is aimed primarily at faculty and some of the staff, and the chancellor gets up and the provost gets up and they talk about what lies ahead for the faculty and staff. But some of us have commented over the years, what do we do for students to kick off the year? And what we're really getting at here in creating a convocation for new students is something that's especially for them at the very start of the school year. Let's talk about what we're talking about when we talk about a convocation for new students. And we'll start with Professor Buch.
Okay, it's really a formal induction ceremony to welcome new students to campus and to introduce them to their new campus, their new university community. Okay,
and some of us have either experienced this at our own alma maters or maybe in the course of taking our own kids off to school at other schools, that kind of thing. This is not a concept that we're inventing here at UNC Charlotte. And Steven, this is something that, do students here say, gee, I wish we had something like this, or how come we don't do something like this?
Well, I don't know if as students, since they haven't had the experience at other universities, except for maybe the transfer students, but the incoming freshmen, their expectation is what they are about to do. We have the SOAR, so the orientation program over the summer that the freshmen are introduced to, but it's nothing of a formal welcome to the university that this is what we're all about. So student-wise, I think that this will be a great tradition to instill for the future, and I think the students, once it is instilled, will love it and will really mark it as one of the bookends to their start at UNC Charlotte. And
we're talking about really a day of activities that we're calling the Day of Convocation. And in this case, the inaugural Day of Convocation at UNC Charlotte will be Monday, August 24th, which as we're speaking now seems, well, weeks away, but it'll be here before we know it. And August 24th, that is also the first day of class. So classes officially begin that evening. Right, at the 5 o'clock hour. But so as you said, new students, and particularly freshmen, will have gone through the SOAR program. They'll have spent the summer kind of gearing up. They're here. Probably in the past, they would have reached that day with a sense of, this is what campus looks like. I have my schedule. I know what I'm going to need to do, kind of, sort of, and I know who to ask. But what we want to do here then is take it a step further in a way that kind of says, this is for real, this is serious business. Now we're talking about a convocation that involves a ceremony in Halton Arena.
Formal ceremony.
With faculty members processing in regalia. What is the impression we want to make on our new students?
I think probably we're trying to set the academic tone for the upcoming academic year. Try to inspire student success, try to challenge them to set high standards for their academic success, but also to let them know that the faculty and staff are partners in that success. So they're not all alone, that they can succeed.
We've been looking as an institution at available data, doing our own research into what are some of the keys to student success, and what do we do to ensure as incoming students, whether they be freshmen or transfer, that they're going to succeed. And we're not joking when we say it's a 4 to 6 year timeline anymore, but ideally get them moving along, get them to make that to their second year here and to stick around and be retained. What do we know about the experience here at UNC Charlotte in terms of things we might even be doing better to engage students in the life of the university?
Things that we're already doing. I think we already have a lot of initiatives to contribute to the success of our new students, both first-time freshmen as well as our transfer students. We have many programs, including our Prospect for Success program, which is probably our newest, that's focused just on first-year entering students. We also have very vibrant first-year programs, including learning communities, freshman seminars, week of welcome, lots of things that are happening across campus. But this one really, more than anything else, is just kind of a formal beginning that focuses on the academics.
And Steven, you've been here for 4 years now, and in that time, I think you have observed a lot of these new initiatives kind of kicking in and taking off. Is there momentum? Is there a sense that it's different now for a new student than it was when you were new?
Well, yes and no. Obviously with football, the addition of more of the hype around athletics, that has definitely increased throughout my time here. But from the formal entry standpoint, I think when I first had the conversations and heard that this commencement ceremony or convocation ceremony was going to happen, I was very excited because it is a formal welcome to the university. We get so much information crammed into our heads during the SOAR process, during the 2 days of SOAR. So it's hard to retain everything. It's overwhelming for a lot of people making that first transition from high school to college. So having a more formal, a little bit more, not quaint, but definitely more robust and interesting program, that would be the convocation, the new student convocation. I think that will add a lot to the student life and really welcome them to UNC Charlotte, and it will give them a great sense of what the university is all about.
We're talking about new student convocation, which will be held for the first time in the life of UNC Charlotte on Monday, August 24th, this coming fall, to kick off the coming academic year. And so the purpose of our conversation now with Professor Kim Buch, who is on the psychology faculty here, and with Steven Serio, who is outgoing president of the student body and also an alum of UNC Charlotte, is to give a little bit of background in why we feel as an institution the time has come to do this. And this is something that I think in my own experience and own awareness of programs like this, it's in the case of other institutions, it's something that's grown up with those institutions, and some of those institutions have grown from smaller to larger institutions. So here we are at UNC Charlotte, still a relatively young institution, on a massive trajectory and momentum and becoming a large, full university. And now we're trying to reach back and establish this as a tradition. Every institution has its own path, but do we think it's going to work here to do it that way here at UNC Charlotte? What are your takes on our approach to kind of establishing traditions in a university that's not really following the mold of most other universities? Will it work?
I definitely think it will. As I said before, it's a formal entry into the university, and having that formal welcome. This is UNC Charlotte. This is what we're about. Learn our alma mater, learn all the traditions that we do have established, and it being a day of learning about what the university is really about in the academic portion, and you get to see all the upperclassmen and how and you can talk with them and other professors throughout the day, because as you mentioned, it's a day of convocation. I really think that the tradition aspect it establishes something new and something really, really concrete that students, when they're welcomed in the convocation, and they see the professors processing it in the regalia, they're like, wow, this is much more than just a university. This is a close-knit community. This is UNC Charlotte.
Kim, what does this do for faculty members to have a chance to, not just to put on the regalia, but to, I mean, do you need reminders of why indeed you are here? Is that what this provides you?
No, in fact, I think we're there to remind students of why they're here and to let them know, as I said before, that it's a partnership, that we're really invested in their success, that, you know, college is going to be different than high school, and we want to inspire them, you know, to achieve high standards. So I think that faculty will welcome that opportunity, because I think sometimes if you look around at what students are exposed to during the summer, during SOAR, and also during the week of welcome and other things that happen at the beginning of the year, it really hasn't in the past focused much on academics. So this is a way to bring, you know, that focus back, you know, so that we can feel like it's not just about having fun, it's not just about football, it's not just about getting engaged in student activities, but really the bottom line is success in the classroom.
Yeah. Have you had much of a chance yet to talk with faculty colleagues about this, or get any sense of how they're reacting?
I think that, you know, it's an unknown, it's new. I think now that we made the decision to hold it on the first day of classes rather than, you know, many institutions hold theirs on the weekend preceding the beginning of the new semester. I think that the university's made a commitment. They've said that this is so important that they're going to, you know, cancel classes until 5 o'clock on the first day of class. That's pretty radical. You know, so the expectation is that because we're canceling class, this is something that, you know, is that we expect everyone to participate in, that this is something that will contribute to the success later on of the academic mission. So I think it's, the jury's still out. We'll see how it goes, but I think most faculty welcome the opportunity to set high standards for their students, communicate academic expectations, build community. So I'm optimistic.
And it's a day of convocation.
And it's a day of
on
convocation.
Monday, August 24th.
Yes.
So as I have the schedule in front of me, which is still very general, each college will hold its own activities in the morning from 8 to 11. The new student convocation, which will be in Halton Arena, is at 11.
Right.
And then from 1 till 5, there will be even more departmental and college activities.
Right.
And then again, those who are fortunate enough to have class at 5 o'clock and beyond get to indeed go to class on that Monday. But what exactly are we talking about with those college and departmental activities that will go on throughout the day? And tell me what I would do if I weren't exactly a new student. Do I just have to watch all the freshmen and transfers having all the fun that day, or what else? What do all students get to do that day too?
I'll talk about what the upperclassmen will have the opportunity to do. I definitely think, as a finance student and being in the Bell College business, I would definitely want to engage with the new freshmen coming in and really tell them about the finance program, about all the opportunities Bell College has to offer them, also the internships that the college sponsors and the opportunities you have once you become once you go through all the lower level classes and you get the upper level, and then also tell them what they can expect when they get to the upper level classes, or if they're not really sure what they want to do, you can talk about why you chose this path. So I could see the upperclassmen helping out in that regard with the colleges.
Stephen, as you look back on your time here, and as you're now moving into the working world, and you're going to be right here in Charlotte, what are the aspects of your time on campus that come first to mind as far as, gee, that really made for a really great experience? Was it just the things that relate directly to landing that first job and being out there and starting a career, or what else do you look back on to say, yeah, that was part of what made it a university experience worthwhile, and probably something I wouldn't have found other places?
Yeah, definitely. looking back at my 4 years, I was able to get my hands wet into different areas of campus. So I joined different student organizations. I joined a fraternity. So having that experience, one of my best memories is being in the stadium, the Jerry Richardson Stadium, on the very first day of football, and just watching students pouring into the stadium, running and getting their seats, and just being packed, and that feeling of the community and everybody coming together for this great cause, for a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun too. That was probably my fondest memory of Charlotte. But also going around, just walking around campus and seeing students interacting with each other and seeing people expressing their opinions and expressing their ideas and working with faculty members and better enriching themselves. That's been another great memory. I see that on a day-to-day basis. I don't really want to call that a memory. That's the lifestyle here at Charlotte. And so this new student convocation, being academic driven, it will. I would hope it inspires more students to really take full advantage of what is here.
Kim, what do you see in today's students that might be different from previous years, or we talk a lot about the differences from the spectrum of boomers to millennials and everything in between. I know in my own experience, and being somebody who was an undergraduate a few years ago, I'm not sure, and I was at a big state university, I'm not sure that launching something like this when I was an undergrad would have worked, mostly because I think of what students were like then, and I'm not sure they would have bought into. I think it was maybe more a time of, tradition, I can take it or leave it.
Right.
But do you have a sense, looking at this generation and looking at this generation compared with maybe other eras of students, what makes us think it's going to work with millennials and those who are transfer students who maybe represent a broader set of ages too? Why do we think this idea of instilling tradition now is going to work or take off?
I think we think it's necessary. Tradition is part of who we are, and in building a legacy. This is hopefully just part of building the legacy, just like football. I don't think students are all that different. I think that in the years that I've been here, students are always a little bit anxious when they come to college. They want to feel a sense of connection. They want to be independent, but they also need direction and guidance, and they want to know that they're going to be supported. And I think that the convocation, if it goes as we intend, it will allow us to accomplish that.
Yeah. What's your sense as far as the characteristics of your generation, that you would look at and say, yeah, this is why it's going to work?
I think we all want to be a part of the community, and you don't want to be an outsider in the community. So I think having this program established and having the upperclassmen really embody it, and the professors and the staff really embody it, and make a big to-do out of the event, it will make the freshmen and transfers will want to be a part of that. It's just part of our it's just part of our culture. I think it's part of being a human, is you want to be included,
connected, yeah.
You want to be connected, you want to know, you don't want to be the only person not at convocation and miss out on everything. So I think everybody will.
And you want to know what's expected. I think a lot of times, students have preconceived ideas about what the expectations are, and this is a way to manage those expectations in a way that will set high standards, but also make students feel like those standards are achievable.
So on a scale of other events in the life of the university, the faculty convocation with the provost and the chancellor, homecoming, other events and activities throughout the year where we have large gatherings, we expect that even on this first year, this is just going to fall right in line with those, and it's going to be part of the array of activities, right?
Exactly. Tying this in with the week of welcome, with all the fun events and the 49er New Year, and that the freshmen get to be a part of, all students get to be a part of, and then having this first day of classes, we have the new student convocation. The chancellor's there to welcome them. The provost is there to welcome them. The student body president's there to welcome them, and then they get to be with their whole entire class at once. And that's very few opportunities that they're actually with their entire class at once. And so it's that sense of belonging. And this is the class of 2019 for next year. So we're the class of 2019, so we're going to stick together, and we're going to get through this together of this maze called college.
And you're introducing them to Halton Arena so that they'll be there for the basketball games
Exactly.
too,
There you go.
men's and women's, and go from there. So
And that's where they'll be for commencement too.
that's right. Hopefully they'll be there for a few other events in between, but I
Right,
think
right.
you will in this ceremony impress upon them that
Yeah,
here you are now, and we'll see you again in 4 to 6 years.
very soon.
Yeah.
Sooner than you think.
Yeah, time does fly. So, and our time has flown as well. So, we want to thank our guests here on the Live Wire, Kim Buch from psychology and Steven Serio from the new ranks of alumni at UNC Charlotte, for being with us and explaining a little bit more about the thought behind the day of convocation. Mark your calendars, Monday, August 24th. It'll be here before any of us know it. Summer was going to go by fast, I'm sure, but there is a website, and there will be more information developing even in the coming weeks. But for all of us here in the university community and for our extended university community, this is something of which we all want to take note, and we will be watching closely and with excitement for that day and to see how it goes. And it's going to be a great success, but it's also going to be yet another aspect of the life of UNC Charlotte that we'll all be excited to usher in August 24th, the first ever convocation for new students, freshmen and transfers, and we'll go from there. So we look forward to watching this tradition build, and we thank the two of you for being with us, and look forward to fall. Thank you.